Alright, today we are going over my favorite glute exercise. See if we are ready. Let's not waste any time. The reason why I like this exercise is because the glutes have the most leverage when they are contracted or squeezed or when your hip is straight. And this exercise does exactly that. And not only that, by changing your range of motion, you can either hit your glutes more, or you can also hammer your hamstring. And the setup is pretty simple. You want to keep the padding lower down than your hip, because if you keep it higher, then you are just going to round at your hip and you are just going to invite your lower back. And basically that's going to eat up the whole exercise, and that's not what you want. So even though it is uncomfortable at first, lower the pad down so you are bending at your hip or maybe a tiny bit lower down. And from here, it is only going to be glutes and hamstring if your execution is on point. Now I'm trying to show it so everybody sees it, but turning your foot in and out, by keeping it out, you can get the insertion and origin in a better aligned position. But this is not going to make or break the exercise. So you can either keep it looking forward or just turn it out a tiny bit. And the hardest part of the execution is something I don't do because it is the hardest one, and that is keeping a bend at your knee. Now this is probably the best position to train your glutes because it is disadvantaging your hamstring, but at the same time when the weight is heavy, I'm just not doing it. As long as you're not hyperextending your knee, you're not going to experience any pain around your knee. So in my opinion, it's something you can do, but you also don't have to do. Executing the exercise is pretty hard for most of the people because you just want to round down and then come up, and then it is a lot of lower back spine reactors. What's not a problem, but what you want to do is just like a Romanian deadlift or any kind of deadlift, you want to hinge at your hip. So hinging at your hip, keeping your legs either bent or straight. I usually prefer it straight, and from here it is just using your hip, pushing it against the padding, and that's what's going to elevate your body. Now in this position you should notice that my back is straight, neutral. You can also round it down, so it is only glutes and hamstrings. For you to get to the form, it might take you 100 or 1,000 reps, but over time you are going to get there. And some people who are like way more coordinated, they just get there straight away, and that's no problem. Like wherever you start. The goal is to get there. And now comes the part why I like this exercise, and it's progression. But this is also the part what people mess up. Now if you know me, you know that any plate exercise, whether it's biceps, triceps, chest, I deem them as useless and a waste of time and energy. I am 100% sure that anybody who gets the form right, we get to 15 to 20 kilogram easily, and it's going to be 5 to 10 controlled reps. And after that, you just want to increase the weight. If I'm being honest, everything is relative to your own body. If you are 60 kilogram, you should still be able to lift your own body weight. It doesn't mean that you have to lift 100 kilogram or so, but you can get to the point where you are lifting your body weight or close around that for 5 to 10 reps for 3 sets. And this might take you 1,000 sets and 10,000 reps, but eventually you get there. And when you do, your spine reactors, lower back, glutes and hamstrings are just going to blow up. Now the thing is, in my gym, we only have 22.5 kilogram around the machine. So even if I hold 2 of them, it's not going to be enough. The good thing about the barbell is that you can load it with as much weight as you want to, but the problem is the range of motion. Let's say that my machine is fairly low. So for me, if I want to hold it here, because this is probably the most comfortable position, my range of motion is going to suffer. But this is the part where you can just do a Zerker position or Zerker grip. And with this one, you can go all the way down. And this is also fairly comfortable. So holding the barbell is not going to be the limiting factor at all. Now in my opinion, doing anything Zercher is going to be a waste of time, because if you want to squat and you only care about hypertrophy here, you're not going to hold a bar like that, because holding 100 kilogram or more is going to be a problem for your upper back. And the same goes for deadlift. But with this one, you're not going to do that. The maximum you are going to hold is going to be like around your body weight. But the fact I like this here is the safety, because some people, you can see them, they are doing on their back like a good morning style, and while it is going to train the spine reactors and lower back a lot, because they just get caught up in between the moment arm. With this one, it's not going to be an issue because they are not there. And another good thing about that is the progression. because you can add the small plates to the side, increasing the weight by 2.5 kilogram or even 1.25 kilogram, and it's easier to progress from session to session. Now remember, don't just use super light weight and do endless reps, but feel very free to use lower rep ranges, heavier weight, as long as your form is good, your execution is good, and just progress the exercise. And I promise you, doing it that way, the results will speak for itself. Anyway, if you learned something from the video, make sure to like, comment, share. For coaching, hit the link in the description. Talk to you soon.